Have you ever stopped to think about what it really means to be God? And if I told you that this truth is closer than you think? Get ready, because today we are going to explore a secret that can change your life forever. Welcome to our channel. Today we are going to unlock an ineffable secret, ultimate enlightenment, the key to peace and power. Let's talk about a truth that many consider radical, but that has the potential to transform the way you see yourself and the world around you. The truth that you are God is the ineffable truth. The ineffable truth is the revelation that you are God. This statement may seem radical, or even blasphemous to many, but it is a profound truth that has been shared by wise mystics and prophets throughout history. Understanding this truth requires a change of perspective, a detachment from conventional beliefs, and an openness to the direct experience of the divinity within us. From the moment we are born, we are taught to see ourselves as separate from the world around us. We are individuals with distinct bodies, minds, and identities, living in a vast universe that appears to be indifferent to our existence. This vision, however, is only part of the story. It is based on sensory perception and the mental constructions of the ego, which creates an illusion of separation. But when we look beyond these illusions, we discover that the true essence of who we are is the universal consciousness itself. This universal consciousness is what we call God. It is not an external being separate from us, but the very essence of life that pulsates within each one of us. When we say that you are God, we are talking about your true nature, that it is the same divine nature that permeates the entire universe. This is the ineffable truth that, if accepted, can completely transform your perception of yourself and the world. For many, this idea can be frightening, because it challenges everything we have been taught to believe. Society and institutions, religions, churches often teach us to see God as an external entity, a paternal figure who judges and punishes. But this view of God is a projection of the human ego that creates gods in its own image. The true nature of God is much deeper and more loving. When we begin to see ourselves as direct manifestations of God, our perspective changes. We realize that we are creators of our own reality, that we have the power to transform our lives through our conscience and intention. This perception frees us from the limitations imposed by the ego, and allows us to live in a fullest and most authentic way. To experience this truth, it is essential to practice meditation and conscious presence. When we connect with our inner essence, we begin to feel the divine presence within us. This feeling is not something that can be explained with words, but it is a profound experience. How transformative you feel when you consider that your true nature is the universal consciousness itself, and that you are a direct manifestation of God. The direct experience of God is one of the most transformative experiences that a person can have. It goes beyond beliefs, dogmas, or theories, and manifests itself as an internal and sensorial perception that we are an integral part of the divine. When we experience this, we understand that spirituality is not just an idea or concept, but a living and constant experience. When we talk about the direct experience of God, we are referring to a state of consciousness where we feel the divine presence in every aspect of our life. This experience is not something we can simply understand intellectually, it must be felt and lived. One of the most effective ways to achieve this experience is through meditation and practice of mindful presence. Imagine a moment when you are completely present. It could be during a walk in nature, watching a sunset, or simply sitting in silence, feeling your breath. In these times you are not thinking about the past or the future, you are totally in the present moment. This total presence is a gateway to the direct experience of God. During these moments of presence, we begin to realize that our consciousness is not separated from the environment around us. We feel a unity with everything. There is a deep and unbreakable connection with the universe. This feeling of unity is the direct manifestation of divine consciousness in us. For many people, this experience can be initiated through spiritual practices, such as meditation, yoga, or even through silent contemplation. When we silence the mind and detach ourselves from everyday concerns, we create an internal space where the divine presence can manifest itself. Consciousness expands, and we begin to perceive reality in a new and more profound way. This direct experience of God also shows us that divinity is not something distant or inaccessible. On the contrary, it is always present in every breath, in every heartbeat. God is not an external entity that we need to seek. It is an internal presence that has always been with us. When we recognize this, our life is transformed. We begin to live with more love, compassion, and understanding, both towards ourselves and towards others. Another important aspect of direct experience of God is the understanding that everything in the universe is interconnected. Every action we take, every thought we have, reverberates through the web of existence. This perception leads us to act with more awareness and responsibility, knowing that we are co-creators of our reality. As you can create moments of conscious presence in your daily life to experience unity with the divine. The illusion of the ego is one of the greatest obstacles to recognizing our true divine nature. The ego is a mental construct made up of thoughts, beliefs, and stories that we create about who we are, that makes us believe that we are small, limited, separate beings, and this perception prevents us from experiencing unity with the divine. From an early age, we are taught to identify with the ego. We learn to see ourselves as distinct individuals, with identities based on our names, our life stories, our successes, and failures. This sense of identity is reinforced by society that values individuality and competition. However, this view is an illusion. The ego creates a sense of separation. It makes us believe that we are separate from others in nature and universe. This illusion of separation is the root of many of our fears, insecurities, and suffering. When we believe that we are just the ego, we feel that we need to constantly protect and defend ourselves. This leads to internal and external conflicts, as the ego always seeks to be superior, have more, or be recognized. To realize the illusion of the ego, we need to question our beliefs and observe our thoughts. A powerful exercise is to ask ourselves, "Who am I?" and look beyond the superficial answers that the ego offers. When we delve deeply, we realize that we are more than our stories and identities. We are the consciousness that observes the presence that is beyond thoughts. Meditation is a valuable tool to transcend the ego. By silencing the mind and observing our thoughts without identifying with them, we begin to perceive the presence of a deeper consciousness. This consciousness is not trapped to the past or concerned about the future. It is simply that presence. It is our true nature, the divine essence that is beyond the ego. Another useful practice is self-inquiry. When a thought or emotion arises, ask yourself, who is having this thought? Who is feeling this emotion? This practice helps you disidentify from the ego and recognize the presence of divine consciousness within you. The ego also manifests itself through judgment and comparison. We judge ourselves and others, and constantly compare ourselves. These practices reinforce the illusion of separation. By cultivating compassion and acceptance, we can weaken the power of the ego. Recognizing that we are all expressions of the same divine consciousness helps dissolve the barriers created by the ego. The illusion of the ego can be challenging to overcome because it is deeply rooted. However, each time we recognize a thought or belief of the ego, and we choose not to identify with it, we take a step towards our true nature. In doing so, we begin to live more authentically love and connection with the divine. What beliefs and stories of the ego can you question today to begin to dissolve the illusion of separation and recognize its true nature? The practice of spirituality is essential to experience the truth that we are direct manifestations of the divine. It is not just about beliefs or ideas, but about connecting us with our deepest essence. Spiritual practice involves a set of habits and exercises that help us cultivate this divine consciousness in our daily lives. One of the pillars of spiritual practice is meditation. Meditation is a powerful tool to quiet the mind and connect with our true nature. By sitting in silence, focusing on breathing, or in a mantra, we begin to observe our thoughts without identifying with them. This process allows us to access the pure presence that is beyond the mind, the consciousness that is our divine essence. Regular meditation helps to disidentify ourselves from the ego and realize that we are more than our stories and thoughts. It creates an internal space where we can experience unity with the divine. In addition, meditation reduces anxiety, increases mental clarity, and promotes inner peace, all elements that facilitate a more spiritual life. Another important spiritual practice is cultivating gratitude. Gratitude helps us focus on the positive and recognize the blessings in our lives. By expressing gratitude, we increase our energetic vibration and align ourselves with the frequency of love and abundance. A simple practice is to be grateful for 3 things every day. This practice changes our perspective and connects us with the abundance of the universe. Service to others is also a powerful expression of spirituality. When we help others, we are recognizing the divinity in them and in ourselves. Altruistic service takes us out of the focus on the ego and places us in a position of connection and compassion, whether through voluntary work, acts of kindness, or simply being there for someone. Service to others brings us closer to the direct experience of the divine. Conscious presence is another fundamental practice. Living in the present moment allows us to experience life fully and be in contact with our divine essence. We are often consumed by thoughts about the past or worries about the future, which disconnects us from the now. Practices such as mindfulness help us to be present and realize the sacredness of each moment. Self-inquiry is a spiritual practice that involves questioning who we truly are. Questions such as, "Who am I?" and "What is my true nature?" take us beyond the superficial responses of the ego and help us discover pure consciousness. This practice can be done during meditation or in moments of reflection. Finally, the practice of spirituality includes living with intention. Every action, thought, and word can be an expression of the divine. Living intentionally means being aware of our choices and acting in accordance with spiritual values. This helps us align our lives with our divine essence, and create a more harmonious and loving reality. What spiritual practices can you incorporate into your daily routine to connect more deeply with your divine essence? Conscious manifestation is a powerful spiritual practice that allows us to co-create our reality with divine consciousness, other than simple desire or positive thinking. Conscious manifestation involves a deep understanding of our true nature, and the intentional use of our energy to bring into the world what we desire. In the essence of conscious manifestation is the recognition that we are creative beings made in the image and likeness of the divine. We possess the inherent ability to shaping our experiences and influencing the world around us. It all starts with the realization that our thoughts, emotions and intentions have a direct impact on reality. The first step in conscious manifestation is clarity of intention. Knowing what we really want is often fundamental. Our desires are nebulous or influenced by external expectations. When meditating and reflecting on our true desires, we can identify what really matters to us, and align our intention with our divine essence. Once we have clarity of intention, it is essential to visualize our vision as if it were already reality. Creative visualization is a powerful tool in conscious manifestation. By closing our eyes and vividly imagining our desire fulfilled, we are sending a clear message to the universe. It is important to incorporate all the senses in this visualization: see, feel, hear, and even smell what the experience of having our desire fulfilled would be like. It must be accompanied by positive emotions. Feel joy, gratitude and excitement as if our desire were already reality, amplifies the energy of manifestation. Emotions are powerful vibrations that attract similar experiences. The more intense and genuine our emotion, the stronger our vibrational field will be. To attract what we desire, faith and trust in the process is also crucial to consciously manifest. It is not about rigid control or obsession with the outcome. It is about trusting that the universe, or divine consciousness, is working on our behalf. This involves letting go of the end result and allowing the things unfold naturally and at the right time. Trust makes room for the universe to bring our desire in the best possible way. Another vital aspect of conscious manifestation is aligned action. It is not enough to just visualize and feel. We need to take concrete actions that are in harmony with our intention. These actions do not need to be grand, but should reflect our commitment and alignment with what we wish to manifest. Small daily steps can create great movement towards our goal. The practice of gratitude is essential throughout the manifestation process. Being grateful for what we already have and what we are manifesting creates a frequency of abundance. Gratitude opens our heart and aligns us with the vibration of fulfillment. By expressing gratitude, we recognize the presence of the divine in our life and strengthen our connection with the source of all blessings. Ultimately, conscious manifestation is a journey of self-knowledge and spiritual growth. Each desire to manifest teaches us something about ourselves and the universe. As we engage in this process, we deepen our understanding of our divine nature and our ability to co-create with universal consciousness. Ask how you can begin to practice conscious manifestation in your life, and what desires you would like to see fulfilled. You are God. This is the truth that can transform your life. It is not something external, but an internal experience. By accepting and living this truth, you connect with your true essence, and transform your reality. If you liked this video, don't forget to like, share and subscribe to the channel. Let's spread this message together, and help more people discover their true divine nature. Until the next video.